Hi everyone, RHOBH Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. For all you out there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. Hit the like button, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. And finally, share my video with your friends and family so that they can come to my channel and get to know me also. I finally got the opportunity to catch up on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And I'm here today to give my take on last week's episode. They're in season 11, and I believe this is episode number 10. And Erica Girardi, now for them in real time on the show, the show, we're seeing something that was taped a while ago, but is showing in this season for us now. So this is not real time that the show is in, it's past, right? But anyway, so now they're seeing in the news all of this reports about Erica and Tom, about, them suing Tom for money, accusing them of stealing money from victims. So they're reading that as they're waiting for Erica to show up at this desert getaway that they're at. So Erica comes, very dramatic, tears in her eyes, just giving us a whole show, and everyone's hugging her and, feeling bad for her because of everything that she is currently going through. So they have conversations about different things, and I don't remember the exact details of the conversation, but there was a conversation they were having, and Erica goes, "Oh, I would never confess." I'm thinking in my mind, whoa, who are your friends, your agents, and your lawyers? Although her being on this particular season is good for reality TV, is good for us, it is bad for her. To me, she has said so many things that can just be deadly to her lawsuit, or that she may be in, or to this whole case that they have her name on it, Tom's name on it. I think it just could be deadly to the cases, but we'll carry on. So she tells this story, and I've been hearing about it from different blogs or whatever, and I said, let me watch this, I got to see this for myself. She tells this story about how 3 years ago Tom was in this car accident. He was in this car accident right in the back of their house. He has lived there for 30 years. This is coming out of Erica's mouth. And he just does something crazy where he gets in this accident. And she said he went off a cliff. We don't know if the car went off the cliff with him in it. We don't know if he parked the car and just was disoriented and fell off the cliff. The details that Erica gave were sketchy and unbelievable, in my opinion. So she says, he breaks his ankle, his shoulder, and here's the really crazy part. He was unconscious for 12 hours. She slipped up because at one point she said she found him, but then she says he called her and he was unconscious. And ever since then, he's been deteriorating, okay, right before her eyes. So that was 3 years ago, this accident, right? And he has been deteriorating right before her eyes. But before she finishes out that story, she said, when she didn't hear from him for hours, she just assumed that he was with another woman. So she wanted to throw an accident in there and then affairs, saying, pretty much he's been cheating on her. He's 81, but he's been cheating on her for years. And, so that's why when she didn't hear from him, she wasn't that worried because, he probably was with another woman. So Kyle asks her, like, well, if you knew all this, why wouldn't you leave? She's like, where would I go? You eventually left the same place that you went now. You could have went before, but let's carry on. So she claims he was unconscious for 12 hours. An 81-year-old falls off a cliff, breaks his ankle and his shoulder, and he's unconscious for 12 hours, and he survives. But she claims that, his whole mental state is going downhill right before her eyes. She claims the man could barely see. He could barely hear, and his memory is all off. And every time she tried to tell him this, he would snap at her. He would go off. So I had to say to myself, because I watched the show, I said, that's pretty interesting. She has been watching him deteriorate right before our eyes. But it's so funny, just last season, when she was about to go on Broadway, and she had a contract from Broadway that she needed a lawyer to look over before she signed it. She gave it to her husband, who is blind, who she knows is deteriorating, who his memory is just off. She gives him the contract to look over for her before she signs it. If I'm remembering correctly with that scene from last season, I didn't see Tom put on any glasses. I didn't see Tom say, I'm not understanding this contract. He told her he looked over the contract, all was well, and she can go ahead and sign. But my thing is, if you know your husband, even though he is a lawyer, you know he's not in his right mind. He can't really see. Okay? Everything is going bad with him. He's deteriorating before your eyes. Why would you give him something so important as a contract for your Broadway stint for him to look over for you so you can sign it? Erica, you so full of it. Listen, if I was the lawyers for these victims, I would be studying and watching every single episode from the day that she got on the show. And I would be ripping it and her and them to shreds in the court. Starting with the fact that this elaborate lifestyle with the jets, the glam squad, the $100,000 a month in clothes and this, that, and the other. And now you seem to me, she told this story because she kind of want to help Tom and help us, try to make us believe that, what they're trying to say about him right now, that he has some type of condition that she believes is true, and she recalls this whole accident. Well, Erica, I'm not buying it. There's so many holes in that story with this alleged accident, and I don't care how much money Tom's has. This wouldn't have been in the paper. This wouldn't have been bigger news that this man broke his ankle, his shoulder, and he was unconscious for 12 hours. Then there's no documentation of this anywhere. Well, something's on to her. But she is about to, when I saw the previews for the upcoming scenes, she's about to rip Sutton to shreds. She's about to be nice, nasty to Sutton, which is so funny to me because Erica accuses Tom of being so nasty, so dismissive. But Erica's the same way. When you cross Erica's path, and she had the nerve, she even said it in one of the upcoming scenes. She's going to say to her, like, I will come for you. Do you think, Erica, that was good? And your husband is in all of these lawsuits? They're going to put you both out to be just monsters. Who allowed her to do this season? It was the dumbest idea ever. But like I said, it's good for reality TV. It's good for the viewers. It was dumb and stupid on her part. And if I would have agreed, if I was Erica, because I need the money, if I would have agreed to do this show, I would have been like, you know what? I'm not saying much or nothing. Every scene you would have just seen me crying and barely getting a word out. That way I would have fulfilled my contract, got my paycheck, but nobody's lawyer would be able to use that footage for nothing because all they would see is me crying. Erica is putting her foot in her mouth. She's killing her own case. And this is a train wreck. And I don't know if she even realizes it. And maybe she does now as she's seeing the scenes play back. This man was in the accident. We don't know if he was in the car and the car went off the cliff. We don't know if he just stepped out the car and he fell off the cliff. but he broke his ankle. This man is 81. He fell off a cliff and he survived. He broke his ankle, his shoulder, and then he was unconscious for 12 hours. And he didn't have to go to the hospital, get bones reset, x-rays, CAT scans. Erica, stop. And the ladies are being very easy on her. But we'll see how this all pans out. Let me know how you feel in the comments. Chat with me, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back, and I will be up to date. I believe the next episode comes on tomorrow night, and I'll give you my take on it when I see it. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next video.